Hi guys, this is Matt with How to Buy a Car. This is lesson 4, Talk the Talk, otherwise known as car terms and terminology. Guys, this is our longest section. There's 55 different car terms in here. I tried to kind of put them together where they go. This took me a while to put together, guys. Just every word I could think of that is possibly confusing or you'll hear it at a dealership. And I just wanted to kind of cover everything. So let's start off with the first 8, I believe, are literally just fees. They're fees that dealerships are going to try to sell you, and I'm going to take you through each one and kind of just debunk them as we go. So, starting right off the top, a dealership fee. Dealership fee is not a fee that the state or anybody else is making them put on that or the manufacturer. So, this one is just hooey. People, when you see a dealer fee on the list, this is a big red flag to me. Okay, this is saying that they are literally just trying to put money on top of the sale. This is nonsense, guys. All right, so this is just one that I can never abide by. Doc fee, guys. Doc fees are going to be almost in every state, and a doc fee can be a couple different ways. It can be regulated, it can be unregulated. So, for an example, in the state of New York, doc fees are regulated. They can only be $75, and they have to be $75. In New Jersey, right next door, unregulated, they can be as much as I believe $800 to $900. It's unregulated, up to the dealer. So, if there's a super high doc fee, okay, guys, and it seems to be that way at a dealer or two in the area, why don't you call around to a couple more and just ask them, hey, what's your doc fee? All right, guys, this one can be a little bit frustrating, but you just got to do a little bit of homework. Administration fee, guys. This is another one of those funny fees that dealers love to just kind of put their on their paperwork, and every salesperson, manager, every single person will explain to you what it is differently because everybody has their own way of explaining it away or making it a thing. Guys, admin fees, dealer fees, again, keep your eyes open for these. These are the two worst out of the three ridiculous fees that you'll see at dealerships. Registration, guys. This one's pretty easy. This one's the easiest one to actually kind of find out the exact number. Just call DMV. Call your state's DMV office. Find out what registration should cost. Give them the make and the model, and they'll give you the exact number. And if there's any difference in that number from the dealerships, well, there you go. That's their little add-on. They're trying to make a little bit of money. Okay, guys, 2 out of 3. We already talked about the dealer fee and the administration fee. The prep fee is a ridiculous, ridiculous fee in my eyes. I mean, it's literally charging people to clean and to get ready this new thing that they just bought. That's always how I felt about it. I don't go somewhere and see something dirty and go, oh, I'm going to buy that for a lot of money. I'm going to, in fact, spend the biggest purchase of my life next to a home or a piece of property. I'm going to buy that and I hope it comes dirty. You want to charge me to clean the car. This is exactly what prep fee is. We're going to charge you to detail and gas this car. Guys, this is ridiculous. I'm buying a car from you. I'm paying thousands of dollars. This should be for free. Guys, if the dealership's trying to say, hey, we have a prep fee, there's walk away. Okay, again, you can always tell a dealership, hey, this is a make or break for me. And when it comes down to these fees, guys, if you stand your ground, they will give in. Because remember, this is just profit. This is not them losing anything. This is them just not making a little extra. So eventually they'll give in. Okay, VIN etching, kind of the same story, guys. If you've ever heard of VIN etching, it's going to be one of the silliest things that you've ever heard or seen done. It's literally the process of taking the last 8 characters of the VIN of the car and using acid to burn it into each window. All right, there's a very small discount offered by insurance companies when you have this done. However, it is a complete option. Any dealership that tells you we do not allow any of our cars to leave without VIN etching, it has to be done. This is simply not true. It costs them nothing. Okay, guys, for the cost of paper to print on and a little bottle of acid that costs maybe $8, they can literally sell thousands and thousands and thousands of this. VIN etching is, again, one of those silly add-ons. It's not necessarily a fee, but it's a silly little add-on that dealerships will try to put in just to make a little extra money. This is not a mandatory thing, guys. If someone's offering it to you for anything more than, let's say, $50, just say no. All right. Acquisition fee. These next two go together. The AC fee and the disposition fee are both real fees, okay? These are both real fees that you're going to see, and they do not come from dealerships. They come from the manufacturer. These are only on leases, okay, guys? So the AC fee is when you're first getting the lease, and the disposition fee is when you're bringing back or dropping off the lease. Okay, guys, there's going to be both of these on a lease from any manufacturer. Now, the thing to know is when you are picking up this car for the acquisition fee, they can add profit to this fee. So let's say you're picking up a Toyota and the AC fee from Toyota is $300, but the dealership tells you it's $500. The dealership's now making $200 profit on the acquisition fee. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the manufacturer's website, like Toyota.com. We're going to look up one of their lease offers, and we're going to do this because their acquisition fee is in there. It's going to be in the breakdown of the figures on the lease deal, and that acquisition fee will be the true acquisition fee for that brand, guys. So if the dealership, let's say Johnston's Toyota is charging me a $500 acquisition fee. If I go to Toyota.com and I go to the manufacturer's site and I look up the lease deal, it will tell me what AC fee they're using of $300, and that's for all their leases. Okay, guys, it's the same no matter what car you're leasing. It's an AC fee across the board. All right, guys, money factor. We're going to stay kind of on the topic of leasing from that. Money factor is going to be the interest rate on your lease. Okay, guys, we go into how to kind of translate this number from a decimal into a true interest rate or close to an interest rate in breaking down a lease and in money and magic numbers. So if you guys want a little bit more of an explanation of money factor, you can go and check those videos out, and it'll be really helpful. Residual value. Okay, guys, this is the value that is left on a lease after you're done with it. So the dealerships and you are going to come to, hey, I need 10,000 miles a year. I need it for 3 years. I want it for 3 years. Okay, so they're going to say, okay, they'll put all the numbers in there, and it's going to tell them, okay, the residual value when this car comes back from this lease with this mileage and this term, it will be worth this much. Residual values come in the form of a percentage. And guys, again, we're going to get into this a lot more detail in breaking down a lease. So make sure you check out that lesson. It's super, super helpful in ballparking your monthly payment, but also just kind of understanding these two terms because there's quite a bit that go into these. Guys, the next piece, kind of backing that point up, basis points. So guys, basis points are going to be the individual 0.0001 of a money factor. So again, guys, a money factor comes in the form of a decimal number, generally 5 digits. So 0.00200 would be an example of a money factor. So if I added, let's say, 10 basis points to this money factor, the new rate or the new money factor would be 0.00210. Okay, guys, and what I've done is I've increased your interest rate, just like increasing an interest rate from 2% to 3%, only it's done in the form of decimals in these basis points. All right, guys, so if you hear them talking about basis points in any direction, if the dealership is saying, hey, we have to add basis points or take basis points off, they are talking about your rate on your lease, guys. Okay, so keep that in mind when people are talking and they're right next to you, okay? Sell rate, buy rate are going to be terms that specifically define a financed interest rate. So when you're financing a car and you get an interest rate from the bank, right? So that's going to be the percentage of interest that they are charging you on the loan for the car. So when you're doing this at a dealership, guys, there's a buy rate that the actual bank is offering. So let's say you go to a dealership and you're buying a pre-owned car or a new car and you're financing it for 72 months. And you put an application in, a credit application in with the dealership, and now again, the dealer representative, the F&I or the business manager is talking with the bank, not you. So when the bank comes back and says, hey, we're going to give you a 4% interest rate on this loan. Now, what the dealership can do is they can make that rate normally about 2% higher and that's the sell rate. So that's what they're going to sell to you, the customer. So from the buy rate of 4%, what the bank actually offered, they're going to make 2% and they're going to charge you 6% interest on this loan, guys. I'm a huge, huge believer of talking to the bank yourself. And this is something we're going to get into in the final showdown, or right before you go talk to the dealership in final negotiations. I'm going to talk to you about how to get your own interest rate, but still be able to do your paperwork at the dealership. All right, guys, so let's say you apply for a loan and you can't get a good interest rate. The dealership may say, hey, we need a co-signer. Okay, what a co-signer is it's another person that's going to sign up on this loan with you, so that they're telling the bank, hey, if they don't take care of the payments, if they fail to honor the loan, I'm signing up and saying I will now take over and be responsible for the loan. It's a huge, huge responsibility to add somebody as a co-signer, guys. It's a really big deal. If this loan goes bad, if there's a problem, they're on the hook. Their credit can be ruined. It's a real serious thing. If they're your co-signer, that also means they're going to have to be there when you sign paperwork to pick this car up. So if they're a co-signer, they have to be there. Think of that as, they have to be with you when you get this car to do the paperwork. Soft credit check. Okay, this is a huge, huge no-no at any dealership I've ever worked at. I always worked for reputable dealers with good reputations for the fact that they didn't play games like dealership fees and admin fees, which make a salesman life a living hell, because you're literally having to lie to people on an every interaction basis. Every time someone sits with me, I'm a liar and I can't be trusted, and I don't trust myself. So this is a big no-no at my dealerships. You had new salesmen come on from bad dealerships, we'd have to explain that soft credit checks, this is telling someone, hey, give me your social, give me your credit information, and I'm just going to try and see if the bank would give you a loan on a car. So this is a falsehood, guys. When you're looking for an auto loan, there is no such thing as a soft credit check. If a dealership says this to you, this is a huge red flag. This is a no, 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 no. Do not ever give a dealership your credit information before you are 100% on a car you want. You've already spoken with your bank, and maybe you want to see what they can do for you. There are situations where you would let them run your credit, but guys, it is at the very last step. Soft credit checks are a red flag. Do not listen to somebody who tells you, hey, it's not going to hurt your credit, it's not going to show up. That's not how this works, guys. Okay? Rent charge. A rent charge is going to be another way to find out the total interest of a lease, because remember, money factors come in the form of decimals, and they can be kind of tricky to maneuver into an interest rate and then calculate what it would be. So a rent charge is there for just that reason. A rent charge is on your contract, on the lease. It shows you exactly how much interest you're paying over the course of that lease. So it's telling you, hey, over the course of 36 months, this is how much interest you'll be paying. This is a really simple way to understand what you're paying in interest on a lease before you sign your final paperwork. This is going to be on the contract, so you get a chance to check this out before you sign if you're a little confused about what the interest rate is or how much interest you're paying. Wheel and tire coverage, guys. So wheel and tire coverage is another add-on option. You can buy this on new cars, you can buy this on pre-owned cars, and each package at each dealership is going to work slightly different. So some will cover just your rims, and some will just cover your tires. Now the difference is the rubber part versus the metal part. So your tires are the rubber and your rims are the metal. So again, if you want to protect them against scratches or hitting a pothole and you bending the metal part, your rim, and it's now not good. You need to get a new rim. So again, this is something that's worth looking into. But guys, get this information over the phone. If you're interested in wheel and tire protection, do some research online, and then when you call the dealership, have some knowledge on what type of coverage you're looking to get. And also call a couple dealerships, same thing as your trade appraisal. You're going to want to contact a couple different places, find out about each of their individual programs for this, and find out which one's the best, which one's the cheapest. And again, go with the one that you have the most knowledge on. PPM, prepaid maintenance, just to shorten this, and this is also how you're going to hear it and refer to it at a dealership. Prepaid maintenance, guys. This is paying for your maintenances on your car in advance. All right, guys. So this is paying for your oil changes and your brake pads and everything in advance. You'll see this on a lot of leases as an option because this way you literally don't have to handle anything. They will put the cost of this into your lease and it'll just be part of your monthly payment and you don't have to worry about paying out of pocket when you come to the dealership. It's worth an option. The easiest way to make sure that this is a good deal for you, ask the service department how much your maintenances would be on this type of car over the course of this many years. Okay, guys, do it without the salesperson. Call up. Don't tell them you're looking for a car. Just talk to them as a service department and ask them, hey, I'm looking at some servicing online. I can't find the number. So I got a 2019 Ford Explorer, and I was just wondering, what's my first service going to be on that? I'm almost due. They'll give you those numbers, guys, and then ask for the first three. Ask for services, guys. Okay, hey, my car's at 70,000 miles. I just had it done. I'm gonna need another service. It's this make, it's this model. What is it? What's that gonna cost me? All right, what should the next service be? How much is that gonna be? Is it any different of a service? Get into it with them, guys. Ask them a little bit about the servicing on the car. It's not gonna hurt you to know these things, and that way, if he tells you, hey, each service should be about $250 for the next three services, right? Okay, and they charge you $700 for this, you're saving $50. It's not really that worth it. But this is also something you can negotiate. Okay, guys, there's room on prepaid maintenance, wheel and tire coverage. There is profit in these things. You have to negotiate on both of these. This is going to be really where they make the most money. When you're signing paperwork and they're offering you these things, this is where the money is made, guys. It's not made on the car. Everybody can now, negotiate their way down on that, but it's knowing that this is where they're trying to make money, where you have to stay strong. And if you are interested in something, treat it just like the car. Be strong. Don't let them know that you really, really want it, and negotiate your way down to a fair price. And always be willing to walk away if the deal doesn't feel right. Same thing here, guys. Extended warranties. You're going to hear or be offered these at every dealership that you go to that you're signing paperwork at. They're going to say, do you want to extend the warranty on the car you're buying? Guys, I'm not going to go through this again. Just treat it the same way as wheel and tire coverage, PPM. Do some homework. Call some dealerships. Find out what each of them are charging. Negotiate your way down. Get a price that you feel comfortable with. And again, do your research, guys. All right, get me done. This is a term that is widespread in car dealerships. Get me done. This is not something that will be said to a customer. This is something that may be said to a manager or to the business manager who's going to be submitting a credit application. A get me done, if you hear this, means somebody that is going to need help getting approved, that we already know their credit is not in a good position, or they are not in a good position with their negative trade equity or no money down. A get me done is not something you guys want to be, and it's not something you will be if you take the time to prepare yourself before going down to a dealership. This will never be you. All right, guys, spot. This is also something I'm going to hope you guys are never going to do. Spot. To spot a car means that a salesperson has sold somebody a car and they are going to take delivery the same day. All right, guys, I have a big rule about sleeping on it. Always sleep on it. From a negotiation standpoint, it makes you only a little bit stronger because A dealership always wants the deal. They always want more, and the faster they can get you to say yes and get you on the road is the better chance they have of making more money on you. Okay, guys, that's why a spot is such a big deal. That's why it has a special name, and that's why there's even bonuses. Salespeople get bonuses sometimes at dealers when they can spot cars. Okay, because the dealers know it's that valuable to them that they'll pay the dealership, they'll pay the salesman more money to do it. All right, guys, do not be a spot. All right, burning gas. Okay, this is kind of a term that goes hand in hand with spot. When a spot is burning gas, it means that they're down the road. So let's say, this has actually literally happened to me. I was standing at the coffee machine with a customer, and my manager walked over and said, "Hey, Matt, is that spot burning gas yet or what?" Okay, he didn't know the customer was next to me, and the customer didn't even know we were talking about him. What he meant was, is the customer driving the car down the road already burning gas? Are they burning gas? So when they're asking that, it means, did you get him out of the dealership already? Did you get him down the road? Did you get the car delivered? All right, burning gas. Non-refundable deposit. I'm a little afraid that there's going to be like a big car dealership fight and they're going to come find me for telling you guys this, but there's no such thing as a non-refundable deposit. It's a lie. It's fake. It does not exist. A deposit is to take delivery of a good. If you don't take delivery of a good, the deposit is therefore refunded. So if you, for any reason, do not want to go forward with the deal for any reason, it does not have to be any particular reason at all, you are given back your refund. Guys, this is just how it is. This is legal. This is the law. There's no such thing. Don't let a dealership tell you there is. And if they have this, big red flag. Buyer's order. This is going to be the piece of paper that if you're at the dealership, they're going to have you sign and have a manager sign, and it confirms all the numbers that you two agreed upon. All right. This is how dealerships make people feel like they've already committed to a deal. And if you're negotiating over the phone, like I'm going to teach you how to do in the final stand down section of this course, then they might email you one and ask you to sign it and email it back. It's just their way of saying, hey, look, you're committed. You signed this piece of paper with all the numbers on it, and now we signed it. It's a deal. No, it's not. A buyer's order is not a legal contract until you sign bank contracts, and this is just a formality. So don't worry about this. You can sign it. You can send it back. It does not bind you. It does not make your deposit non-refundable. None of that. But that's what that is, a buyer's order. Mileage penalty. Guys, a mileage penalty is something that will be on a lease, and it's when you, let's say you have 30,000 miles allowed for 3 years. If you go over 30,000 miles, every mile you go over, there will be a mileage penalty. Normally it's 20 cents or 10 cents, but ask about it if you're going to be leasing. Find out what the mileage penalty is going to be if you go over your miles. Maven. All right, guys, this is kind of a funny one. A maven is a person who is brought to a dealership because they are perceived to have the knowledge or the skills to get someone a better deal, or they know everything about a car. This person is great to have if you want to know about cars, their features, little things about them, whatever. This is not a negotiator, okay? Negotiations are about being able to find the middle ground between two people. Having a know-it-all at the table who's gonna, try to puff his chest out and really show off at what he's here to do. This is not somebody we need at the negotiation table. If they know everything that Jeep's ever done, and you're looking at a Jeep and you want to talk to them and bring them and show them the car you're looking at, that's fine. Keep them out of your negotiations, guys. All right. And if you hear someone say he's a maven, or he brought a maven, the guys that got a maven with them, okay, that's what they mean. They mean that the guy you're with, or the person you're with, is a know-it-all, and they're trying to show off, and they're trying to make sure everybody knows, hey, I'm a Jeep guy, I'm a this guy, I know it all. Mavens are not our friends during negotiations, okay? Hollywood delivery. All right, guys, let's say just for instance, you do spot a car, right? So remember, a spot is going to be when you pick up your car, or you go, you look at the car, you make a deal, and you take it home all on that first day, a spot. So if you spot the car, and let's say you can't take it home that day, what they'll tell you to do is you take the car and drive off the lot. And this is what they'll call a Hollywood delivery, because you're literally going to drive down the street, wave, and come back. And you can park the car. But what this has done is you've taken the car off of the property, and now this means you've taken physical possession of the vehicle. It kind of solidifies the whole deal, and possession being 9 cents of the law, it kind of falls into that category of things, right? Where, hey, you took it, you drove it off the lot, that does indicate that it's now yours. You left with it, and even though you came right back, you still left with it. So Hollywood delivery. If anybody says, hey, we're going to send you on a Hollywood delivery, or you hear this, that's what's coming. A laydown. Guys, this is the worst word you could be called in a dealership. A laydown is somebody who comes into the dealership and literally just gives up and just lets, a car dealership sell them everything, or not negotiate on the price at all, or very, very little. And, hey, what happened with your guy at your desk? Oh, he's a laydown. I took off $100 and we have a deal. Wow. See if you can spot him. So a lay down. If you hear this term, guys, run. This is not a good term, and don't worry, with this course, with these terms, you will not be a lay down. You will be somebody else's worst nightmare at a dealership. POS. All right, guys. So a POS is a very bad term for somebody's trade. But it's so common, and it's said so many times at a dealership, I could not put it in. A piece o you know what. So that is what they are calling a car or a trade-in or something. If you bring an old car in and someone says, wow, he's got a POS outside, or it's a real POS, okay, they don't want the car. They're going to offer you a lowball number. Don't take it. Sell it privately. Go back to my trading your car course and figure out how to sell privately. It's much better for you, okay? So if you hear POS, someone's not respecting your property. Manheim. Manheim is the largest auction house in America. Okay, guys, they have auction houses in literally every state. There is a Manheim auction house that deals with cars. So when they're giving you a trade appraisal, like we talked about in my other course, they're going to say, hey, this is what they're going for at the auction. If you say, hey, what did Manheim give you for it? Or what will Manheim give me for it? This is a really good word. This is like a powerful word, because this is such a strong name in the car industry that if you answer and you know what auction they're talking about on the spot, it does kind of signify, this person I'm talking to knows something about the car industry. So just something to keep in your back pocket, and knowledge of, hey, this is what they're talking about when they say the auction house, Manheim Auction House. Galves. Galves is another tool that analyzes all the other auction houses out there and kind of gives them, because Manheim might be the biggest, but it's not the only one out there. So Galves is going to give them a breakdown of what all these auction houses are selling a particular make and model for. So they'll get a big list, and they'll see Manheim, they'll check Galves. So knowing these two right here, again, this is a big part of their appraisal process. So when you call them back on the phone, if you're following along with my trading in your car lesson, and you say, hey, what's the value on my car? If they tell you, hey, the auction's not giving me much. Why? What did Galves give it for? What's Manheim saying about it? Again, these are just key words that if a dealership hears you say, they automatically know, ooh, they know something more than the average person. Wholesale, guys. Wholesale is exactly what we just talked about. It's the auction. So auctions are a place where small used car lots generally buy their inventory, as well as larger manufacturers. So a Chevy lot might not have enough pre-owned inventory just from the cars that are getting traded in there. They might have to go up to Manheim, and they might have to buy some pre-owned Chevys at the auction, but they're buying them to then resell them, guys. So they don't buy them for retail, they buy them for wholesale. Okay, so when someone says we can only give you wholesale, it means that they're saying most likely they are going to send your car to an auction house. Okay, guys, so that's what wholesale means, and that's what they're talking about. All right, manufacturer certified. So this is something that has needed to be explained, I think, daily on every sales floor in America. A manufacturer certified pre-owned. If you go to a Chevy dealership and you get a pre-owned manufacturer certified pre-owned Chevy, they have extended the original manufacturer warranty, which means you can go to a Chevy dealer and have the work done. If you go to Bob's used car lot and he says it's certified, okay, this does not mean that he's extended the warranty with Chevy. He's just certified it and said, hey, I checked it over. I'm certifying that it's in good condition. And he might offer an extended warranty, but it will not be a manufacturer warranty, which means you cannot walk into Chevy and they can just scan the VIN in any store and say, hey, we know what's going on. This car is under our warranty. And again, manufacturer warranty, these are done for every single brand out there. If you are not at a brand's dealership, if you're not a Ford dealer, a Mercedes dealer, a Beamer dealer, there is no way they can certify that car. Okay, what you will get at these used car lots a lot of times is as is condition cars. So they will tell you, hey, this car is as is. So that means if you drive it home and the radio stops working, that's too bad. You bought it as it is. There's no warranty. There's nothing covering any damage or faulty parts that break. This is not always a great way to go, guys. I personally, if you're looking at used car lots on dealership lots and you're finding a lot of this and you're looking for maybe a car under $4,000, you might want to consider two options. One, buying privately from a person, because you get to talk to the person who owned that car. You get to have an idea of who was driving it, and it's just a way better to buy a car that's going to be in as is condition anyway. You might as well get to know the owner. Make, model, and trim. So this is really just a quick go over of these three terms. So make is going to be anything like a brand like Chevy, Ford, Toyota. Each of these makes has models. Okay, so Chevy makes the Tahoe, and then each model has a trim, and what the trim is going to tell us is how much stuff, how many items and extras are in it. So a Chevy Tahoe LZ versus a Chevy Tahoe LZ1. So the difference might be the LZ has nav and the LZ1 doesn't. So these three terms kind of go together, but you're going to hear them consistently. Hey, what makes you looking at? Which model? Hey, what trim? Okay, guys, just so you know. Invoice. Invoice is a number that dealerships will try to show and sell to you as the number that they pay for the car or that their cost on the car. This is the true number that they hope to sell cars at or above. Okay, that's the true number. That's a true thing invoice is. Triple net is the actual cost to them of the car. Guys, if you want to learn how to get to invoice and to triple net, you can watch Magic Numbers and this course, and it'll kind of go through that and a lot of other dealership math that they don't want you to know. Manufacturing incentive, guys. So these are incentives that a brand puts out, a make puts out for dealerships to give to you guys. So let's say you're looking at a Toyota Camry. Toyota might have $1,000 manufacturer incentive on the Camry that month, which means you could get that incentive at any Toyota dealership. Manufacturer incentives do not go dealer to dealer, they go by the brand. So if you're looking at Toyotas and you find out that there's $1,000 manufacturer incentive, you can get that at any Toyota dealership, okay? Do not have to go to any particular one. One thing you can do is go to the manufacturer's website like toyota.com or ford.com, and you can check out their incentives for the month. You can, you can avoid calling the dealership, and you can kind of get that information on your own. Loyalty programs. These are things that you can ask about at the dealership. If you have the same make that you're about to buy, ask if they have a loyalty program. Some makes offer extra incentives to people that keep buying their products. So, hey, I have a Ford and I'm trading out of it and I'm getting another Ford. Hey, there's an extra $500 because you've been a loyal Ford customer. Most brands have these at one time or another. Always ask, always worth asking. Same thing with pull ahead programs, guys. On most leases, this is going to be a thing with a brand. Hey, if you are 3 months away from the end of your lease and you're looking at the new Lexus and you'd rather just get the new Lexus than wait, Lexus is going to offer you 3 months, will cover those 3 months of payments, but you have to get into your next Lexus lease. So these are, again, only normally if you're staying in brand. You can't go from Lexus over to, Infiniti or Beamer and get the pull ahead for those 3 months. You'll have to wait those 3 months. So pull ahead program, again, just things to ask about when you're at the dealership, when you're talking to the dealership rather. Service, guys. I just want to go through these because this was a confusing thing for a lot of people. The difference between service and repairs and what warranty covers on them. So a service is like an oil change, brake job. These are parts on the car that are meant to wear down over time and meant to be replaced, like oil, like brake pads, like windshield wiper blades. Okay, services are not covered by your warranty. Warranty covers repairs. Repairs are things that break that are not intended to break. So if you have a strut, or let's say a bad transmission, this is going to need a repair, which is normally covered under warranties. Okay, warranties do not cover services like oil changes and brake pads. They cover repairs, breakdowns, problems with the cars. That's what a warranty is there for, and that's what it's going to cover. All right, guys, straw purchase. So this list right here, I've come some real serious terms. Straw purchase is one of them. If a dealership can't get you approved for a loan, if you have, let's say, a really strong cosigner, guys. Okay, so remember, cosigner is somebody who said, the bank says we can't give you a loan, but we will consider giving you a loan if you have somebody who has really good credit that will go on the loan with you. So let's say you get a cosigner, but the bank still says no. The dealership may tell you, hey, let's just put all the financial paperwork in your cosigner's name and we'll just put insurance in your name. Guys, this is a straw purchase. Don't be a party to this. This is not something you want to be a part of. It puts the entire financial responsibility of the loan on your cosigner, on your friend, because you are not on the loan. As a matter of fact, they are not even your cosigner anymore. They are just the loan holder. And when they tell you, hey, we'll put you on the insurance, okay, you can insure a car to anybody. I can buy a car and insure it to anybody I want. Okay, it could be a gift for that person. It doesn't matter, but that also doesn't bind you to that thing financially. That's what a straw purchase is, guys. So if you hear this, or this is a situation that someone's offering you, this is what they're offering you. It's been known to be done in the car industry so often that there's a term created around it. Again, a big red flag. Santander. All right. If you happen to say, Matt, I don't want to, deal with going to other banks or calling other banks. I just want to get my car. And let's say you go to a dealership and they say, we can only get you approved with Santander. Guys, be super, super careful. Okay. This is not a bank that messes around. They charge 25% interest. It's literally the highest interest rate you can have on an auto loan, and Santander does it all the time. They will take loans from anybody. You can have 450 credit score. They will give you a loan at 25% interest, and the debt collection and the real serious collections agencies that they have follow you around are mean, and this is not a bank you want to be with. Okay, this is a sign that, hey, my credit's not where it needs to be. It's time to work on it. It's so serious, guys, that I put it on the list. It's almost become a verb at dealerships. Hey, what do you think about this guy? Oh, he's Santander all the way. Okay, Santander is not a term you want to hear referred to as your credit, or to your credit referred to as. All right, guys, F&I. F&I, okay, you might hear them say, hey, I'm going to send you to F&I. I'm going to bring you over to F&I. I got to go talk to F&I. This is the business manager. This is their department, the finance office. So that's all that means, that F&I is the person who handles the application and the submission of your lease or your lien. So what I would do is I would, when I was the dealership, I would submit your lien or sorry, your lease or your loan to the bank. And then while you're with your salesperson, I'm in the office talking to the bank about getting you approved, finding out what the buy rate is, and then bumping it up to the sell rate, and then having the salesperson meet me in the F&I office so I can tell them, hey, this is what we just did. All right. And when someone says, hey, I got somebody in the box, they're saying they're in the F&I office. This term, the box, it's literally a nickname for this office because this is where you're going to be kind of beat up. Okay, the F&I manager is literally in there to try to sell you extended warranty, PPM, wheel and tire, anything they can. So when they say, hey, he's in the box, that's what it means. Guys, if you hear the word gross, okay, if two people are talking about the car and, let's say the manager comes over and says, what's gross in the deal? All right, if the salesperson says 500, 600, that number is how much profit they're making in the deal. Okay, but listen to the context. Okay, because we at my dealerships, we would use this to our advantage. Okay, we would have my manager come over, sit at the desk and say, what's the gross on the car? The gross on the car is not the gross on the deal. The gross on the car is how much we're making on the car, not how much we're making on, let's say, I sold PPM and wheel and tire and extended warranty. How much do we make on the deal? What's the gross on the deal versus the car, guys? So keep these things in mind, guys, all right? If you hear them talking, and just so you know what these terms actually mean. All right, so let's get back down here, guys. All right, paint protection. Paint protection is a very, very silly one, guys. It's so silly that I didn't even put it on this list because these are things that you may actually consider getting. Paint protection is hysterical. It's literally, sometimes it's not even put on. They'll just tell you they put it on. It's an invisible microfiber film that goes over the entire car's paint and it protects it from damage. From acid rain, maple, sap, things like that, bird poop. Okay, it's ridiculous. Please, please don't be the person who goes in the F&I office and buys paint protection. That they do make a substance that goes in the car. Guys, we pay literally pennies for it, for buckets of it, and they're going to charge you hundreds of dollars for it. Carfax report. Okay, Carfax is a reporting agency that catalogs every individual car's life and history. So it'll tell you the day the car was originally registered, sold, any maintenance or work that was done on the car, where it was done. Okay, if you're buying a pre-owned car, guys, ask for this. Every dealership that's reputable will have no problem providing you a Carfax report. Look over the Carfax, guys. Take this home, sleep on it, have it emailed, look it over. Take your time. There's a lot of info here, and I was extremely skilled when sitting at a dealership. The fact that I would actually bring up the Carfax, print it out, hand it to them before they even asked about it, and I would pre kind of avoid this hurdle of them wanting to look it over, because if there's anything bad on it, why would I have offered it up so freely? So it was just a tactic of mine to kind of get people off of the Carfax and to show it them right away, but just go home with it, take it home. Paper spot. All right. So here's a little time for extra credit, guys. Who remembers what spot is? Okay. Spot is, very good. Well, for those of you who didn't get it, spot is when you are going to come in, look at the car, sign the paperwork, and drive it off the lot all on the same day. That's a spot. Okay, if they can't get you to spot, if they can't get you to leave with it, if you are completely against it, they will at least try to do what is called a paper spot. A paper spot is going to be just having you sign the paperwork. Okay, and I don't mean having you sign a buyer's order. Okay, I mean having you sign all the paperwork. If you sign bank contracts, DMV forms, everything, you are paper spotted. Even if you don't take physical possession of the car, you are pretty bound to this deal. So guys, always take this as a serious moment. You guys know, and you guys will know later if you watch my lesson on picking up the car, that this is the final moment, and this is where they are going to try to do the most damage to your wallet, guys. So if they can get you in that office and they don't have you leave with the car, but they still get you to sign everything that first day, this is an accomplishment for them. All right.
no credit. No credit is not a bad thing, guys, okay? No credit means you do not have a credit history. This is not bad credit, okay? If you are young, if you've never had a credit card, okay? I was 21 years old before I ever had my first credit card. I was buying cars with cash. I was selling cars on dealership lots. I didn't need to take loans. I had no credit. When I went to get my first lease, I could not lease a toothpick, okay? But it wasn't bad credit. I just had to build up credit. So if they tell you, hey, you don't have any credit, you have no credit, they're not saying you have bad credit. They're just saying you haven't acquired or you haven't built up a credit history yet. Guys, a sleeper is somebody that I would refer to in a dealership as somebody who cannot make the decision right now, okay? And this is what I want you to be. I want you to be a sleeper. While this is the most frustrating of customers for a salesperson and a dealership, it is the best type of deal, or the person most likely to bet to get the best deal out of a dealership. If you go home, if you sleep on it, stick to these rules, you will get the best deal. Spots don't get good deals, okay? They do not get good deals. And finally, guys, fittingly, the TO. So everybody knows when you're at a dealership, before you leave a dealership, the manager is going to come over. He's going to try to sell you one more time. He's going to try to spot you one more time. And he's going to see why we didn't spot you. He's going to ask what we could have done to get you out of the showroom with a car today. Okay, this is just their last chance of talking to you in person. They value it very highly. And if you're at the dealership doing your negotiations, which is not exactly what I recommend, but if you are going to go that route, okay, don't think that the manager's power to discount the car has just magically appeared, okay? Because that's how a lot of people feel when the manager sits down. Now it's time to really negotiate, okay? If you, in my opinion, if you want to negotiate with me, we do it in a manner of respect, okay? Where I make a fair offer and you come back and you make a fair offer, we meet in the middle. Not you trying to have a salesperson get me for as much money and spot me and get all this out of me. And then when I'm about to leave, when I finally had enough, you come over and make me a fair offer. Guys, don't fall for this. Be a sleeper. Go home and sleep on it. All right. This is Matt. I hope these terms have helped, guys. There's a million out there. If you've heard something at a dealership that you don't understand, that you didn't know what it meant, please get me a message. I'll try to answer it as best as I can for you. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I hope it's been super informative. Thanks again. This is Matt.